Today, my Keep It Real moment is about realtor services and how realtors get paid.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really play.
There's a big misconception, man, that realtors are somewhat just middlemen, or it's basically that our job is easy, what we do, right? I would beg to differ. It's not easy what we do. If it was, everybody will be able to do it. There's a saying that real estate is not for everybody. I don't believe that because everybody is able to obtain a real estate license unless you have some type of major bad background or something like that. But everybody is able to obtain a real estate license. I would say real estate agent dealing with buyers and sellers on the day-to-day is not for everybody. I can't really speak on a lot of other areas of the real estate market because dealing with buyers and sellers is my main thing in real estate. So I can say yes, that part of real estate is not for everybody. So here we go. Well, how realtors get paid, right? So let's talk about buyers. Dealing with buyers, I like to explain to my buyers up front, man, how is it that I get paid, by using, or they're using my services. What we do is we have a consultation, meaning that you come meet me in my office. I sit with you, my loan officer, and we go over everything there is to go over about your real estate buying process, whether it's you're ready to get pre-approved or you're not ready to get pre-approved or whatever it is. But once you get pre-approved, that's when us realtors step in and go find that house for you, right? The way we get paid is based off the house that we find. Some of the houses offers anywhere between 1 to, I would say, up to sometimes 5%. But the average is usually 3%. Right now it's 2.5. Of course, we know the market is crazy right now, but the average is 2.5% right now of the purchase price. So if you want to know what that is, just simply take a whole number, let's say 300,000, multiply that times 2.5%, and whatever that comes out to, that's the real estate commission for your actual realtor at that time, right? Now, buyer's agents, which is if you're a buyer and you have a realtor, your realtor will not get paid until you actually close on the house. So if you was to take that realtor through 100 homes and you didn't decide on neither one of them, that realtor just wasted 100 homes worth of gas, I would say. And I say wasted gas loosely, man, because that's just the nature of the business. If you really want to lock in some real guaranteed money, you will become a listing agent. And I'll save the listing agent stuff for another time, man. It's just a whole nother different level of understanding how realtors get paid on that stage or whatever. So if you take your realtor by 100 homes and you don't decide on 100 homes, or you have been putting in offers and they're just not getting accepted, your realtor won't get paid. So that comes with bills, their families not getting fed some type of way, if real estate is all they're relying on and they're just relying on your one purchase. But I wouldn't really count that check unless that customer is really ready to purchase a home and we actually get it done. So moving forward, man, if we find a home, right, and you put in an offer and your offer gets accepted, not going over everything that needs to be done in between you getting your offer accepted and then closing, but 9 times out of 10 there's a 30 to 45 day waiting process on you to close on that home. If for whatever reason you just can't get the loan, or maybe you did an inspection and you just ain't like the house or whatever, guess what? Your realtor is back on the market looking for another house for you to purchase. Or a lot of times people just get discouraged and kind of back out. So if you're not a real person that know how to keep people together, then you might just miss out on an actual buyer at that time. So anyhow, once you get to the closing table and you close, then your realtor is presented with a check. He can put his check in his bank account and move on to the next customer. The problem comes in that when I would say buyers are not communicating well, or they just is not in tune to their process as much as their realtor, right? What happens is that buyer starts to feel neglected, feel like the realtor not communicate with them, or not sending them houses that they may like, or anything like that. And what they'll do is, not all, but what they'll do is contact another realtor and sometimes badmouth their current realtor, right? So in that case, what I like to do, man, I like to hear the buyer out. I like to see what was the issues with your current process or with your current realtor. And a lot of times in my head, I'm already determining that the problem wasn't the realtor, it was probably actually the buyer, because normal things. Oh, they send me properties and I have to go see them, and I can't never see them, or they don't answer the phone after 10 o'clock or anything like that. Realtors work off of, I would say, I won't say all realtors. I work off of like how much is my time needed in a situation. So if you're somebody who is pre-approved for, let's say, $250,000, and we are in the market where the average sales price is, I would say, $400,000. Right there, my time is I would say, I have very little time for that particular borrower, because not to say that I don't want to work with them. It's just going to be more so like a superhero's job, and we all know superheroes, man. They go through a lot of bumps and bruises to get to the end goal of what they're trying to do, man. So I'm not going to say that I don't have time for that person, but I would probably, just let that person know their chances of getting a home, if they can, find somebody to help them get their pre-approval up there to where they can, maybe purchase something more than $250,000 or $200,000 in this current market. Once they do that, then we both will have a better chance, man. But that particular buyer, man, they'll see that I'm not sending them homes, or enough homes that to their liking, and they won't understand sometime. And then 9 times out of 10, I'll lose them, or they'll just go find them another realtor and talk bad. But it's fine, because I stand on, if I can't do it, then it's gonna be damn hard for another realtor to do it, right? And that's how we all should look. If you're a real estate agent that's watching this channel right now, you be so good at what you do that if a customer, decides to find another realtor or anything like that, just know in your heart that you did the best for them, and it's gonna be damn hard for that next realtor to do the same. All right, so that's the real estate spiel about buyers and realtors and how we get paid. Now, moving on to tenants or renters. I had a conversation with a customer that called me yesterday, and they was pretty much they were really bent out of shape. I felt very bad for this person, man, because what they were telling me that they were looking for, they do have a Section 8 voucher, and it's just kind of hard right now for the Section 8 tenants, because the rental market here in South Florida is very high. We have a rental property that we just rented out with, I would say, towards the end of 2021, and we got a lot of offers in on that rental property that had Section 8 vouchers. They were willing to pay more than what the voucher was worth, but we ended up choosing a tenant that didn't have a voucher, and they were willing to pay an extensive amount over what the area is worth. So why would we choose a Section 8 person when we know if we overcharge the voucher, it's a possibility that we can lose our Section 8 credentials? We didn't want to go that route, especially when we had a few tenants that was willing to pay what we were looking for without a voucher. So just thinking about our process and listening to that customer on the phone, it kind of melted my heart a little bit, man, just to hear the stress in this person's voice, man, and knowing on one end that it's very little to none that I can do for them. And that conversation, it went so far to where the customer was basically telling me that they know that if they had a realtor, that they'll have a way better chance out here at getting a place to stay, right? I couldn't really tell them that that was a wrong way to look at it, because real estate professionals are here to basically do the work that you can't do, right? So all I did for that person was I just basically gave them the understanding of what's going on in today's market when it comes to rentals. I have my own opinions about it. I really think the rental market is what's driving the prices up on housing, but that's for a later conversation. But the actual customer, man, they I told them that my whole thing about how we chose our tenant for our house and things like that. But in that conversation, I was thinking like, wow, what if I really dug in deep and tried to help this person? Will I be able to satisfy them? How much of my time is basically, or will I be willing to dedicate to this particular transaction? And I mean, because the conversation was so, I would say, so sad, I'm willing to give it a try. And I reached out to a few of my other real estate colleagues and let them know that I'll be needing their help on this, man. But a whole day of looking for a Section 8 property for this particular person, man, I didn't find anything. That was last Friday. Today we're here Sunday, but I didn't find anything. I'm gonna go back at it tomorrow and give it a try. But let's think about some of the realtors that is on a day-to-day in the rental market. Let's say they had 5 to 10 customers that was in crying need of a property as such as this customer is. What do you put that realtor's I would say that realtor services? How do you rate that realtor service if that realtor is not actually getting people into these homes? For me, I have a lot of sympathy for any realtor that's actively on the rental market today, because it's just not easy. If you're depending on a rental check or anything like that to provide food for your family or pay your bills, you're having a very hard time. And on top of that, you're not satisfying your customers. So it could get very discouraging. On that note, I would say to any tenant right now, if you're in the market of looking for another place to stay, how you can help us out, help your realtors out, man, look, go on all the home searching platforms. I mean, you got, of course, we're gonna send you MLS properties, but you have Zillow, you got Realtor.com, you got Trulia, you got a lot of other platforms that you can look for properties for yourself, and just send them to us, and that'll help us out a whole lot, because when you send them to us, we can actually call the other realtor, or actually sometimes the landlord, and just basically cry to them about how you really need this place. And sometimes you'll get it that way. What I like to do, especially if it's for a family member or a close friend, just send me the property. If you send me the property, I'll give you the customers or the listing agent's contact, and you call them, and the first thing I tell you to tell them is, hey, I don't have a realtor. What happens is, if you tell them you don't have a realtor, that particular listing agent will pretty much be more willing to listen to your story, because the way that we get paid on the rental side is, let's just say you have a property that you want to rent out, and you want to use a realtor as your professional to help you rent this property out. Your realtor will charge you on the average 1 month's rent. 1 month's rent means you're going to ask for first, last, and security. One of those deposits, whether it's first, last, or security, whichever one it is, will go to you as the listing agent, right? If you have a tenant that you can bring to that landlord, you will then get that whole 1 month's rent, and you can put that in your account and or whatever you want to do with it. But if a tenant brings a realtor with them, you will have to split that 1 month with that actual tenant's agent. So by me telling you to call this listing agent and tell them you don't have a realtor, they're more willing to work with you because they're going to make more money on that particular transaction. So with that being said, I really only work with people that's close to me, whether it's family or close friends when it comes to rentals, because not to say that I don't have time for rentals. Rentals take the same amount of time that it does for a buyer to purchase a home. When a buyer purchases a home, yes, we use a lot of gas to maybe find these homes, but the reward, a transaction check from actually closing a buyer's transaction opposed to a rental transaction is much greater. So if you have a realtor that has a lot of buyers in the pipeline, it just wouldn't be smart for their time to take on a lot of rentals in the pipeline as well. So what I actually did coming up in my career is I've seen where I was getting a lot of calls for buyers, sellers, realtors. Buyers, sellers, and renters. And what I did was created a team to which everybody have a different level of expertise and success to be sometimes willing to deal with any type of business that come in. And I'm not going to say a tenant is or a renter is any type of business. It's just that particular customer, all they can do at the time is rent. And in most cases, they might not even know they can buy or purchase, but I will allow that agent that I refer that tenant to basically school that person on if they could purchase or not. But going back to, just actually closing a rental deal, right now is very hard. If you are a tenant in the current rental market here in South Florida, work with your realtors. Don't think they're not out there doing their job if you don't hear from them in 2 days. Work with them, send them properties that you may be interested in. I know it's hard. If you somebody looking for a 2 or 3 bedroom, maybe consider a 1 bedroom for now or something like that, man, because time is of essence when you have vouchers and things like that. So that's my real spiel for today. Any questions, man, y'all can drop a comment in on the page or anything like that, man. I'm always on my social medias. I will be bringing real spill to you. I ain't gonna say once a week, but as things cross my path, I'll be here checking in on you guys. Y'all have a good day.